Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-da. I don't know if you guys have realized, but this NFL season is flying. This is week number 6 here at World of Matchups NFL Handicapping Podcast. Coming to you guys live and direct from Las Vegas, Nevada. I am Dexter Reid, your host on the other side of the glass. My A1 from day one. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in a very under the weather Spencer the Wiz.
Yeah. I blame the Raiders, actually. I think they're actually contributing to the downfall of my health. So that's what I'm going to put the blame on.
Sounds about right, man. Last week we both went 8-5. I took some shots that hit and some gimmies that miss, and Spencer was just the opposite. But we've had a good week, and we're gonna have another good week. Starting off with the music and the slate, if you will, Mr. Spencer.
All right, let's jump into the Tottenham game. Oh, they're playing in Tottenham Spurs. They ended up playing the Arsenal Stadium, but that's another thing for another time. I actually keep up with a couple of soccer teams, but it's the Denver Broncos, quote unquote, at the New York Jets. Yeah, like I said, they're playing in England. It is the Denver Broncos who are -6.5. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and be contrarian here because it's so easy, right? You have the Denver Broncos, supposed to win by a touchdown, 6.5, and you have the 0-5 Jets. So what's gonna give here? Why is this not like 7.5? You know what? The Jets have gotten closer and closer. They're not a good team, obviously. They're a bottom barrel team, just like the Raiders are. But that just tells me that something funky and weird is going to happen in this game. It's an international game, too. They've all generally been pretty close. It's just because it's a lot of travel and so many factors that it's hard to just kind of tell. I tend to think these games are going to be closer than they should be. And so I'm just going to take the 6.5 points. It's not that I feel good about it. It's very far from my best bet. And the Denver Broncos should blow them out. But for some reason, it just feels like one of those games that has no business, like, being close. And then it's going to be, because everyone in the world, I feel, is going to be on the Denver Broncos for this one.
Sometimes when it looks too easy, it is. I feel like that's what this is. I've taken the Jets now twice this year. I cannot take them again. They have burned me every single time that I put any kind of faith in the Jets. They have just completely played me. And so I do tend to agree with you that sometimes these things are going to end up being closer than they should be, especially these over-the-pond games. But I picked Denver last week to cover versus the Eagles, and they won outright, which means they're flying over with a boatload of confidence, and the Jets just have absolutely nothing to hang their hats on, man. They're a bad team. Breece Hall will be traded before the deadline. What are they cooking with, man? They got nothing going on there. Aaron Glenn is over his head. He's a player's coach. He's not an X's and O's guy. He's going up against a Super Bowl winning head coach and a quarterback that everybody thought was going to fall into a hole his second year. Bo Nix has been playing very well recently, and the defense is all world, man. I think the better pick here is the under. But I'm going to take Denver Broncos -6.5 simply because the Jets can turn the ball over at any given time. And the Broncos defense can probably score more than the Jets offense can here. 6.5 is the play minus for Denver.
All right, let's jump over to the Arizona Cardinals. They're visiting the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah, man. Obviously, Coach Gannon got fined for punching what's his name for fumbling the ball. I mean, it would have been a 21-point game or something at that point. The game would have been over. I'm going to talk about this too, actually, ironically, when I talk about the Raiders game, how just one play can change the entire trajectory of a game.
Yep.
And that, I mean, obviously, it's just one of them. I think when you make a mistake like that, even though you're up, you've lost the game, because now it's just it's like a virus, and it just goes through the rest of your team. And I think this is the beginning of the end for Coach Gannon in Arizona. I think they get rid of Kyler Murray. They're going to fire him at the end of the season. It just feels that way. And it's just like voodoo magic. Sometimes when it rains, it pours in the NFL. And I know this is another one of those games because the Colts are -6.5, but it feels like it's going to be like one of those games that's just like strangely close. But I don't know. I think I'm just going to bet on Arizona falling apart completely. Like, I don't think they're going to rally. I think after your coach punches you, however it is, because the players were consoling him on the sideline, and then Gannon comes in, man, just obviously, I mean, just nuclear hot, which as he should be. And I just think the vibes in Arizona now are completely done. I mean, they had the easiest schedule in the NFL by far in the first 6 weeks of the season. And now when they start playing these good teams, man, it's going to be a meat grinder for them. Their season is cooked. And the Colts just professional as can be, man. They get there, they do their work, and they leave with the victory. I mean, that's just been their MO. Ironically, also the victim of fumbling at the goal line this year. So both teams can kind of redeem themselves. And I just think the Colts are very good at home. And I don't think the Arizona Cardinals are very good, period. They want the other team to win. They've done that all year. They desperately want the other team to win. And so the Colts will take those wins. Those are the kind of teams I think that'll do that. So I like the Colts -6.5.
I like the Colts -6.5, and they're going to be my best bet this week. Everything you said is true, and I'm going to piggyback off it a little bit more. Gannon is done. Okay? When your franchise is finding your head coach, they're just letting you know it's a matter of time before you're getting a pink slip. And I feel like he was justified in everything that he did. I mean, it's not like he clocked a guy in the face. You know what I mean? This is a man's game. Worse stuff happens in the locker room, if we're being honest. So it was caught on camera, and yeah, it's a bad look. But if you're getting fined by your franchise, your days are numbered. That's number one. Number two, Kyler Murray sucks. Okay, Kyler Murray sucks, dude. The Arizona Cardinals would be better off right now playing Jacoby Brissett. Kyler Murray's hurt. He runs around the field like a kid that stole something from a convenience store and is being chased by the cops. He's not accurate, and he's not a leader. If he was to get laid out by the other team's best DB, none of those players on that sideline would come to his rescue. I think they secretly hate the guy, honestly. And this is going all the way back to the Call of Duty days. I'm serious, man. If you really think about it, they don't love Kyler Murray in Arizona.
What does that tell you about? What does that tell you about him? That they put a clause about watching game film. I think that's all you ever need to know about
That's
Kyler
all
Murray.
you ever need to know about Kyler Murray. He's not a winner, okay? And so you have that. They don't throw the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. enough. They don't scheme him open enough. I mean, you would think after what happened last year, things would be a little bit different this year, and it's been a little bit better, but it hasn't been much better. The defense is not good at all, okay? They don't get Trey McBride in the box. I mean, they've got so many things working against them. They lose James Conner, then they lose Trey Benson, and then Amari DiMercato is throwing the ball all over the place when he should be running into the end zone. I mean, what kind of professional athlete are you? If this keeps happening in professional sports, you want to celebrate? Get in the box. Don't let the adrenaline take you out of being focused. Winners win, and these guys aren't winners. It's really just that simple. Now they're going to a place with a great home field. They've been the surprise team in the NFL. They can run the ball, stop the run, they play good defense, and they've got a rejuvenated quarterback, and they've got literally one of the 5 best players in the NFL at running back. If this game is not 31-13, I don't know what is. Colts -6.5 with a boatload of confidence, and they are my best bet.
Yeah, I love that one too. Let's go to the Los Angeles Rams. They're playing in Baltimore against the Ravens. The Rams are -7.5. I don't believe Lamar Jackson's playing in this game. I've
He's
seen
out.
I know I saw some reports this week that were basically saying that
He ain't playing.
And so, dude, it's been horrible. I mean, this is complete meltdown for the Ravens. And there was a tipping point. And I remember a couple weeks ago, I took them to say, like, oh, Lamar Jackson's out. This is their rallying cry. This is their chance, to kind of show what the team can do without him. And it went the other way. I mean, like, they're a nothing burger right now. I don't know what to do. I mean, yes, health has been a big factor for them. And I'm not saying they should be undefeated right now or anything like that. But it can't be like this. I mean, and obviously we can go ahead and say it, man. They've been the worst defensive unit in the NFL.
By far.
Like, they're competing with the Cowboys. And it's not
Cowboys
like they're
defense
devoid.
Is better.
They're not devoid of any talent on defense right now. I know they have a lot of injuries, but let's not act like their secondary isn't healthy. Let's not act like they don't have Kyle Van Noy playing decently well for them right now. So it's been a complete failure on every level. And, you know, the one thing I will say, though, it's like, oh, I hate how Jim Harbaugh is answering these questions. I see it on Twitter all the time. NFL Twitter is so trash, man. You know, you're never going to say anything right after these kinds of losses and stuff like that. So the only thing that really matters to me is the on-field product. But I don't know. I'm not trying to say that Harbaugh's seat is hot, but I think it's getting a little warm. You know, I think that these things have to reach a breaking point somewhere. And I don't know if his time is expiring. Not this year. Anything can happen this year and he won't be fired. But I just, it's kind of surprising to see just because we've seen such a well-running program there. And I don't know. I think some things can just turn sour at some point, and it's hard to get that recovery. They're not going to recover this year, obviously. That ain't happening. I don't see them going on a miraculous run. I like the Rams here. We've talked about this every week. It doesn't matter playing in Baltimore. It's a vacation for these guys at this point. It's the most like unhome field advantage. It's like at the bottom for me when I think about those kinds of factors. And do I think this team has any fight? I thought they did, but no, they don't. So it's not like, oh, they got blown out last week. It's going to be a rallying cry for them. I don't think so. There's nothing about this team that excites me. And I think the Rams are they're playing pretty well right now, man. Puka is kind of unstoppable. Puka could go nuclear in this game. This could be like a 200-yard game if the Ravens continue to play like this. And so I love the Rams -7.5.
So do I. I'm laying a lot of money. I mean, a lot of points this week. And I'm not scared to do so, man. The Ravens are unmitigated disaster. They're falling apart at the seams. I mean, John Harbaugh, great coach, man. But at what point do we have to recognize that, like, no matter how you set it up for the Ravens, number one offense, number one defense, home field advantage, MVP quarterback, he hasn't just been able to get it done, man. You know what I mean? At some point, I feel like there has to be a new voice. I mean, imagine giving Sean McVay those situations, how many Super Bowls the Rams would have. Imagine giving Andy Reid those situations. I mean, is he really that good of a coach? You know what I mean? I don't know, man. And so it all started with the allegations of the kicker, Justin Tucker, and it just hasn't stopped. And, like, I'm willing to give them a pass on defense because they're just so decimated. They're falling apart like the Lions' defense fell apart last year. But still, man, you're the Ravens. I mean, a lot of people had you picked to go to the Super Bowl, and that's off the table. I'm taking the Ravens out of that mix now, and I'm inserting the Rams, who they're playing, because I think the Rams are a bona fide Super Bowl team. Puka Nacua is the number one wide receiver in the NFL to me by far. He can't be guarded. They scheme
the
him
gap
open.
is widening for him, by the way, to be number one.
I mean, he's 10 targets a game, minimum. You know what I mean? And Sean McVay's offense, and he catches almost everything. The only problem I worry about with Puka Nacua is that he plays wide receiver like a linebacker, and so he's susceptible to getting hurt. But you can get killed walking your doggy, man. So, scared money don't make money. I'm laying the 7.5 with the Rams with confidence. Lamar's still out. I mean, the bottom line is this, man. You got a soft quarterback. You got a soft team. And Lamar's soft. He's just a generational talent that puts up stats. I've said this a million times, and I'm going to keep saying it. I don't care how mad you guys get. Lamar's not a winner, man. He's just not. And I feel like it might be time for a new voice. If this team doesn't win 7 games this year, it might be time to really think about replacing that coach, because there's no other team that gets the situations that the Ravens get and doesn't produce. I mean, there's teams that would dream to have home field advantage in their building in the cold weather. You know what I mean? There's teams that would dream to have an MVP quarterback, that would dream to have a number one defense, and they just don't get it done, man. And last week, I told you, they were going to get their doors blown off. And that's exactly what happened, man. I saw that coming a mile away. And the Houston Texans didn't just win, they dismantled that team. They embarrassed them in front of their families. I mean, there was no pride to even be played on the sidelines. Pathetic. And until I see Lamar come back and win a game, I'm going to bet against him every single week, no matter how big the spread. Rams -7.5, and I feel actually pretty good about it.
All right. Let's go to the Cleveland Browns. They're visiting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers are -6.5. Ugh, I hate betting on the Steelers, man. They're just so up and down. It's just a coin flip for them every week. I mean, it doesn't matter who they're playing too, which is the annoying part on top of all of that. You just don't know what you're going to get out of them. I'm going to take the Steelers. I think that Mike Tomlin kind of specializes playing against rookie quarterbacks, and I think he's going to have a lot of mistakes. Not to say that Dylan Gabriel played pretty well.
Played pretty well
in that game. Yeah,
played pretty well.
And so, I mean, there's not really too much to say about these games. They're not really two amazing teams. Just kind of grind it out, try to sneak out a win type of thing. And I know when I say that, it sounds like a closer game than a touchdown, but like I said, I think Dylan Gabriel's good for 2 turnovers in this game, and it's just going to be one of those games where it's close. The Steelers block a punt or get an interception or something like that, and then they score. And then the final score is like 17-10, something stupid like that, or like 2013, just like one of these kind of weird games. Not to say that I love it or anything. And like I said, these are, you could just like write this out before the season starts when it comes to like the Cleveland Browns versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know what I mean? These games kind of write themselves, and it's just going to be one of those gross matchups, highly defensive. Like, I don't think the Steelers are going to blow them out. And, I just think the turnover battle is going to lean more towards the Cleveland Browns, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to have some cringe way to cover this game. It's going to be really close 3-point game. There's going to be just a block punt, and then there you go. Steelers score, they win the game, and they get out of like Heinz Field. That's just kind of how I see the game going.
Steelers are the most unpredictable team in the NFL. Them and the Seattle Seahawks. What you expect them to do, they don't do, and then what you don't expect them to do, they do. I'm going to take the Browns on a prayer. I got a bad feeling about this for Steelers. I mean, this is the type of game where I could see if they get to Aaron Rodgers enough times, he could get knocked out of this game, man. Browns have a great defense. This is the black and blue division. I mean, I know they can't score, but I will tell you this, man. Dylan Gabriel looked a lot better than I thought he would look. I personally, as an Oregon Duck fan, don't even believe that Dylan Gabriel should be in the NFL. But he's not playing poorly. There's a lot of other quarterbacks that are playing worse than him. I mean, you drafted the kid for a reason, so here we go. Hey, I'm gonna pull and pray on this one. Quinton Judkins can run the ball. Fannin and Njoku, but they came to life a little bit last week. I mean, a rookie quarterback's best friend is his tight end, and he's got 2 of them. God forbid they get anything out of their wide receivers or a play on special teams. They're going to cover this game. Guys, it wouldn't surprise me to see them win this game. I'm serious. I got a reverse teaser that has the Browns -1.5.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, seriously, if this game goes like OT and all of a sudden it's just a field goal to win it, it's anyone's game.
Would not be shocking at all.
Let's not be honest, man. For the amount of money that they paid DK Metcalf, for him to have less than a 20% snap share is egregious. I mean, this is Arthur Smith. This guy specializes in losing games like this because all he wants to do is run the ball on 3rd and 13, which is absolutely retarded. So I never like laying big spreads with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I just don't. I know Jaylen Warren is back, and that's a big deal after being out for a couple weeks. But again, it's not like the Browns defense are a bunch of pushovers, man. They're not bad. I mean, as long as Myles Garrett is on any field, you have to scheme for that guy. That's an important piece that you have to always look out for. He's a game wrecker, and that could change on the dime at any time. Not saying I feel good about it. This is one of those I have a feeling games like Tennessee last week where I'm just like, I just got a feeling, man. There's just something wrong with this, and I feel like they could win the game. And, I mean, it happened once last week, so why not double down? Every week, I think I'm going to take one like this. They've been hitting, man. Browns plus 6.5 is the play, but not with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, it's just one of those games.
It's one of those games.
Yeah. Let's go to the Seattle Seahawks. They're visiting Jacksonville. The Seahawks are minus 1.5. I'll eat crow, man. I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong, and to an extent, when I would say that, Trevor Lawrence had a pretty damn good game against the Chiefs. At the very least, he had a really nice last drive. He made the best throw of his career in that game to Brian Thomas. Shout out, by the way, that one throw actually won me my fantasy week last week. I needed like 1.5 fantasy points, and I got it on that one. So that's a very memorable moment for me. But that was a nice throw for sure. And I think they're getting really close. I mean, if you watch that game with him and Brian Thomas, they almost connected on a few of those like big plays, and they're trying, And yeah, like I said, Trevor Lawrence is playing the best football of his career, I think, the last couple of weeks here. Like we just talked about, the Seattle Seahawks are very unpredictable, I guess, is really the easiest way to say it. And so you just don't know what Seattle Seahawks team is going to show up. And so it's like, which one do you think is going to come to that stadium? I actually am going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars, shockingly, here. I just think there's a little too much momentum. And I know it's a short week, and so I don't love that. But there was something special in the air for Jacksonville, like in that game. And plus, it was just really good. It was very memorable for them. And I think they're getting it going. And I don't know, man. That Seahawks Arizona game has like kind of burned its memory into my mind, as the Seahawks are just a team that like they want to let you backdoor the win a lot of the times. Like they're leaving it open for you. And I think if they can just kind of capture that pizzazz again, I think they can win by a field goal, like just something. 1.5 means something weird is going to happen in this game. The sportsbooks have an algorithm for these 1.5 point spreads where they just know there's going to be something bizarre. And I think that's what's going to happen. There's just going to be something really weird, like a 2-point conversion or whatever the case may be, that's going to make this very close. And if they weren't at home, I wouldn't take Jacksonville, because everyone's excited about this season, right? We talked about Travis Hunter as not just a football player, but as like a marketing tool. And it's working. He's not even playing that well. But people are just like, there's a lot of buzz around Jacksonville that I don't think I've ever seen in my life, actually. I'll go as far to say that. Maybe when Blake Bortles was playing pretty well and they went to the playoffs, that was kind of the last time. But this is different because people actually believe in this team, There is a level of belief for them. And they're a hot hand right now. So I'm going to go with the hot hand right now. And I'll take the Jacksonville Jaguars getting points at home. I kind of like that.
I'm not there yet, man. I mean, of course, as a Chief fan, I watched the whole game. I think that game was more about what Kansas City didn't do than what Jacksonville did do. I mean, if the Chiefs make one play, they win the game. They had 5 different opportunities to make one play, and they couldn't make one play. I mean, it's really just that simple. I mean, you're up 14-0. That game has to be over. The Kansas City Chiefs are playing so poorly, man. They're playing really, really horrible football. I'm sorry. You have every opportunity to get back in the driver's seat, and you lay an egg on the biggest stage. And again, it's not about what Patrick Mahomes didn't do or did do. The team is failing him. It's just that simple. 13 penalties. You're never going to win a game with 13 penalties. And they can't cover anyone. Jalen Watson is bum. I don't understand why they didn't play that other guy from UNLV that we were talking about last week. I mean, what are they doing, man? They can't get pressure on the quarterback. They got a whole bunch of guys on the D-line that literally should be backups, and the Jaguars took advantage of it. Chris Jones standing there watching Trevor Lawrence roll around like a dog and then fall into the end zone is like one of the lowlights of the season. So we'll talk more about the Chiefs here in a second, but I'm not as galvanized about Jacksonville as you are. I still believe Trevor Lawrence sucks. I mean, every dog has his day, man, and it was his birthday on top of all of it. I'm not saying it was rigged or anything or scripted or anything, but there were a lot of ridiculously questionable calls in this game, man. They just happened to go the way of the home team, And you know what? Everyone took the Chiefs, and the sports books made out like bandits going into week number 6. I mean, that's just really what happened. I don't trust Jacksonville anywhere still. Brenton Strange is out. Yeah. Maybe Travis Hunter gets a little bit more love here. But it's not like they demolished Kansas City by any stretch. The Chiefs gave that game away. Period. End of statement. The Seahawks, conversely, have JSN. They got 2 guys that can run the ball, and they got a good secondary, which I think will continue to take Brian Thomas out of the mix. Look, Brian Thomas is just not the same player with Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. Okay? Mac Jones, to me, right now, is every bit as good as Trevor Lawrence. And Trevor Lawrence Brian Thomas went to the moon at the end of last season with Mac Jones. They're a paper 4-1, guys. They're a smokescreen. I don't care what happened on Monday night. It's also a short week to top it all off. I don't believe in Liam Cohen as a rookie head coach. They have played nobodies, man. The only decent team they have played and beat was Kansas City, and Kansas City beat themselves. So now the sports books are going to want you to take this 1.5 because everything is rolling the way of Jacksonville and they're the surprise team in the NFL. No, they're not, guys. The surprise team of the NFL is the Colts because the Colts actually beat good teams with new pieces. I'm telling you right now, I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks, and if they burn me here, I'll probably never take them again because they are set up here to win this game. Run the ball with Charbonnet and KW3, control the clock, you're sprinkling your tight ends, JSN to the moon. There's not a cover corner on that Jacksonville team that can take on what JSN can do, especially now that Andre Sisco is gone. I like Seattle a lot in this game, man. I really do. If they blow this one, it'll be because Sam Darnold's a bumbling idiot, and it wouldn't be the first time that that's the case. But I'm putting a lot of stock into them this week because I just don't think Jacksonville is good. Jacksonville is Rocky when he fought Clubber Lang the first time. Your teams are handpicked. You're a paper tiger. I'm not going to back off that until I'm seeing that. If they come out and destroy Seattle here, I'll be singing a different tune next week, and they will get a bouquet of roses from me on my end. Otherwise, it's Seattle -1.5, and I feel good about it.
All right, let's go to the Los Angeles Charger. They're going to Miami. Man, the Chargers just looking real shaky as of recent, but that gives me actually a lot of confidence to take the -3.5 here. Miami is just a steaming pile of garbage. I mean, talk about defensively, just nothing. I mean, just an absolute nothing burger. This is a desperate Chargers team. I'm sorry. Like, they need this win more than probably any other team in the NFL this week. It really feels that way. And I think they're going to make enough plays. I think this is like one of those certified to his garbage kind of game. He's going to throw like 2 picks or a pick and a fumble. Something crazy, man. I see a lot of turnovers in the fray for Miami here in this game. And it's not like playing in Miami is like scary or anything like that, you know. The trajectory for the Miami Dolphins is not very good. And like I said, I think this is the Miami Dolphins running into the wrong team at the wrong time. Big time. And so I like the LA Chargers -3.5. It's kind of a get-right game for them.
Upset special. Say it with me, everyone. Miami +3.5. I can give you a million reasons why the Chargers are in hot water. They literally were the AFC West champs for 2 games, and they are falling apart. No Joe Alt. Rashawn Slater gone, so you're dealing with a left tackle and a right tackle made out of paper mache. That's number one. Then you lose Omarion Hampton, who was coming on. Hassan Haskins? Really? Kimani Vidal? I mean, combined, these guys have maybe taken 30 snaps in this league. I don't feel comfortable about that either. Then you have Quentin Johnson, who's hobbled. I mean, they're in big trouble here, man, and they're on the road. I mean, let's not forget that this is the same Charger team that lost to the New York Giants a couple of weeks ago. I mean, they're flying just as far, playing a team that was probably in the same boat as the Giants, win-wise. I think that Miami's in good shape here. I think less is more with Miami. You get rid of Tyreek Hill, you cut that fat, and now you're just dealing with the meat of the situation. I think they're going to play well. Sunny Florida. I think they can protect Tua well enough. I mean, Devon Achane might be the best player on the field. You're going to actually see what Waddle can do now that, the target hog is gone. And the X factor is Darren Waller. We all laughed, man. I was one of the people who laughed. But Darren Waller has been good for them. He just needed to get healthy. Dude, 6'6", 260 is a mismatch on the field no matter where you are. And so when you fly across the country with all these problems, man, you're going to give me points again at home? I mean, sure, they might win the game, but they're not winning by more than 3.5, man. Miami can score, and I know they played a poor game last week. I get it, but they still threw up, 27, 24? I mean, the Chargers aren't a high-scoring offense, man. And let's be honest, if everything's not going his way, Justin Herbert is very average. I don't know. Something tells me that the Miami Dolphins could even win this game. I'm taking them plus 3.5 with a lot of confidence, man. I think this Charger team peaked too early. Lad McConkey's been an absolute ghost. Absolute ghost. I mean, they're not asking him to do anything. The guy catches 45 yards a game worth of offense. I mean, 4 catches, 5 catches. He's not the same player. They're just not using him properly. So the sophomore slump is on for him. Keep Tua upright. I think they can cover this 3.5. I smell a rat here. I don't trust the Chargers anywhere right now. They're just too banged up, man. Too many important pieces of that team are B and C players right now. And when I have that, I'm taking the team at home, getting the points on top of it. Miami Dolphins plus 3.5 is the play.
All right. We're going to hop over to my best bets. It's the Dallas Cowboys visiting the Carolina Panthers. The Dallas Cowboys are minus 3.5. Whenever the Carolina Panthers put a good performance in, you're like, man, maybe they can piece it together. Rico Dowdle. It's kind of a revenge game for him, actually. Now that I think about it, Dallas may have been better just keeping him around. Every time Carolina looks like a competent team, they follow it up with the worst performance you've ever seen in your entire life.
Every time.
And I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to score 35 points in this game. One of our best bets, our season-long bets, was Dak Prescott over touchdowns. He's going to fly through that, man. He's going to have 35 touchdowns. I think it was 28 or something like that. This offense, dude, is high flying, man. It's kind of unbelievable. They couldn't be stopped for 2 seconds. I know the Jets are bad, but is the Carolina Panthers better? Are they really that good? No. So I just think there's going to be I like the over in this game too. I think Carolina could sneak in some points actually here, and I'm going to bet on the team that's going to score what I believe to be over 30 points in this game. And I just, no matter what, man, I just don't think the Carolina Panthers, they just can't score enough points. And they had what looked to be on paper the best offensive game they've ever had. And they still, I don't even think they eclipsed 30 points in that game. So it's man, first of all, are they going to replicate that? I mean, I think Rico Dowdle could potentially have another huge game or something like that. But I just don't think they're going to be able to score 30 plus, man. I have to see them do it. And against the Atlanta Falcons, they scored 30. But it's literally everything humanly possible went right for them. I think they're just due for another stinker, man. We just see this from the Carolina Panthers. You can't believe in them because they can never string it together 2 times in a row. If they do, I'll admit I was wrong, but I'm not betting on it because I've seen it too many times. I love the Dallas Cowboys in this game.
So do I, man. I love them. I love the over in this game. I love the Cowboys in this game. I love anytime touchdown from Tetsuo McMillan. Those are my 3, but, Cowboys minus 3.5 to me is an absolute lock. They still have enough firepower, even without CeeDee Lamb on the field, to beat a Carolina Panther team that overachieved last week. You're not going to see 200 yards from Rico Dowdle again. You may not even see 100 yards. This is a revenge game. That front 4 is going to play with pride to not let him embarrass them. Jerry Jones has already been in the ear of the coach, too, Schottenheimer. Look, the bottom line is the Dallas Cowboys have no defense, and neither do the Carolina Panthers. So I'm taking the team that can score more, and that's the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, Javonte Williams has been a slept-on gem this year. Comeback player of the year is on the table for him if this continues because he has been able to grind it out. The backfield's all his now that Miles Sanders is out. And you got Fergie, who is always open. The guy catches a million targets, and he's starting to catch touchdowns now, too. And then George Pickens, the long guy. I mean, the offense has got enough. And the line has been keeping Dak upright. I mean, Dak's been playing well, man. He really has. When you consider what they have given him, Dak has played well. I just don't believe in Bryce young enough, young enough to warrant winning this game anywhere. They played well last week. I get that. I just can't see it 2 weeks in a row. It's not every day a running back rushes for 200 yards and you only win by 3 points. A guy that rushes for 200 yards, that game should be a blowout. And so I know Carolina's home. I don't think it matters. Dallas has gone other places this year versus bad teams, and they won and cover. Dallas is not as bad as people think. Letting go of Micah Parsons killed this team. If they would have still had him, they could maybe have been a playoff team this year because they can score with anybody. And I think they're going to score enough points here to cover the 3.5. I like them a lot.
I'm going to regret my next pick a little bit, I think, because I've picked them in quite a lot of spots. This was our best call by far last week. It's the New England Patriots. They're playing the Saints. Actually, those are two of our best calls last week. We took both of these guys, and so those are our best wins last week by far.
Tennessee was my best win last week. That was a big one. Nobody bet Tennessee but me.
And the Saints are plus 3.5. I'm gonna just be weird, and I'm gonna take the Saints here because I think the whole world is gonna be on the Patriots. And either coming off a win against Buffalo, it's magical, right? I mean, that's a huge win, one of the biggest wins for the Patriots in a very long time. If you throw out the game against the Seahawks when it comes to the Saints, they've actually played pretty well this season. I mean, I know they only have one win, but they had I would even call it a good win against the Giants, especially after what we saw on Thursday night. Mm-hmm. I don't think that was a much different Giants team. I think they played really well against them. And I just think the Patriots are due for a letdown. I don't think they're, unless I'm wrong. Like I said, again, I may have to admit I'm wrong in a lot of these kinds of things next week, but I don't think it's just going to be, all right, Patriots are going to win 11 games this season. I think there's going to be growing pains with them. And Ramondre Stevenson fumble here or there, just to keep it within a field goal. These things are kind of due, man. I do think that the Patriots are due for a stinker this week, like a letdown kind of game. I don't know if they're going to lose necessarily, but I could easily see this just being a weird turnover kind of game, and they have to win by a field goal. Or even the Saints, they play pretty well at home. Maybe they get a field goal win. Something stupid like that. I just think a lot of people are going to have like, oh, this is my easy gimme game. The Patriots, they just beat the Buffalo Bills, so they're going to destroy the Saints. For some reason, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know why. So I like the New Orleans Saints in this game.
So do I. I love the Saints here. I don't like them. I love them. You just went to Buffalo and won. You're going to be riding high, and you feel like you're going to just come in here and mop this team up. I don't think so. The Saints have been in every game this season except when they went to Seattle. They could have easily beaten Buffalo. Buffalo had to work hard to beat the Saints. And just like you alluded to earlier, the Giant team that just bullied the Eagles defense, the Super Bowl champs, lost to this team in New Orleans. This is a trap game if I ever saw one. The whole world's going to be on New England here, man. Guys, don't be gassed because New England cannot score tons of points. They're a grind-it-out team. If they score 28 points, it's up. They throw a parade in Foxborough. I think the Saints defense is good enough here to keep this game close. Slept on piece that no one's talking about, even at age 34. Taysom Hill's still on this team, man. So Spencer Rattler is not getting it done. All of a sudden, you can insert Taysom Hill, and we've seen this happen before where he just takes over on the ground, inside the 5, trick plays. I mean, what have the Saints got to lose, man? Chris Olave
Rattler's still playing pretty well, too.
And Rattler's playing pretty well. Chris Olave's having a good year. Rashid Shaheed can catch any deep ball that's thrown to him. Juwan Johnson is good. I'm worried about Alvin Kamara. That ankle is questionable, but Kendry Miller has been waiting for his shot for 4 years. This could be it. Dude, the Saints are not as bad as people think, man. Dude, the Jets are worse than the Saints. Okay?
Oh,
I think there's a
sure.
world where Carolina might be worse than the Saints. Tennessee might be worse than the Saints. Seriously, I'm not even joking here. And in their building, I've been to that dome, man. That Mercedes-Benz dome, those people down there, man, you go to New Orleans, dude, they love their Saints. They show up no matter what, man. That's going to be a real home field advantage, and their defense gets after it. I do not trust the Patriots here. I think Drake May will have a good enough game, but the fumbling issues worry me, man. I watched them happen in their own building versus Steelers. So you're telling me that that's now shored up on the road? Stop it. Give me those 3.5 points, man. I don't know why I feel good about it because I shouldn't, because the Saints absolutely stink. But it wouldn't shock me to see them win this game either. Guys, this year I'm taking more chances. And you're seeing Spencer take these chances all of a sudden today, too. And I'm telling you, this time last year I had a losing record because I was scared to take chances. I'm taking chances this year, and I'm above 500 by quite a bit. You have to be willing to do stuff that other people will not do because that's how the sports books stay in business. When everyone loves something that much, guys, you got to be willing to say, you know what, man, I'm going to throw a little bit of coin on it the other way because anything can happen. Amari DiMercado fumbles the ball, and the game completely changed last week. The game ended, and they were up by what, 20 points, Spencer? And they lost
would
the
have been up
game
by 20.
outright at home. Anything can happen in the NFL, and I'm banking on something crazy happening in this game to the tune of plus 3.5 at home for who dat?
All right, let's go to the most confusing line of the day. It's the Tennessee Titans visiting the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are -4.5.
I got them at
that makes
3.5.
no sense. I was just looking on the score. I'm sure it's probably a little bit
It
different.
went up then. All right, so we'll go 4.5.
Okay. And I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
I love the Tennessee Titans. I think they could win this game easily.
So do I. I got them on a reverse ticket as well, -1.5.
I have a lot of thoughts about that game, obviously.
Raiders suck, bro.
The Raiders aren't good. Yeah, no. Obviously. Here's a few thoughts. My first ones that kind of pop up. I think the Raiders have one of the worst fan bases in the National Football League. The other part of it, though, and the reason why I really think that, it's like after every loss, the Raiders like, fire everybody, fire everybody. That's been the problem for the organization for 20 years. No one's allowed to stay for more than 2. The Raiders need to hit rock bottom with a coaching staff. Look at what's happening with the Giants, man. Brian Dable, every game, every time they lose, they let this guy stick around. They let him build the team that he wanted to. Look, go up and down the Raiders roster. So few of these guys have been drafted by the Raiders, or they're all undrafted rookies. It's like, dude, if I'm hiring a coach, if I'm the owner of a football team, you get 4 years. If I'm hiring you, because then you're like disrespecting your own hiring process. You need to give this team a chance. They've had 2 good drafts, okay? 2 good drafts is not enough to just now be a good team. You need a foundation. Right now, what the Raiders have, I use this analogy as like a car. They have nice wheels. They got a nice interior, you know? They don't have an engine. There's nothing that is like helping drive the car. They have nice pieces of a car. You know, it looks nice on the outside. Dude, go through. The defensive line is trash.
Trash, dude.
The linebacking room is just a bunch of random people they found off the street. Same thing for the secondary. We have 1 drafted guy in the secondary. Eric Stokes is like a nobody from Green Bay. I don't even know who the other guys are. They're getting torched. The safety room, okay, I kind of like Jeremy Chin. I kind of like Isaiah Palomau. Dude, they're so devoid of talent. Their offensive line is not very good. What the Raiders' problem is, they think that the only thing that they're missing is a head coach. No, they're missing a team. They're missing the thing that makes a team good. And everyone's like, oh, the Jacksonville Jaguars turned it around. They have a good roster. from top to bottom, you know? And so a coach did make a big difference for them. There's no coach in the National Football League that can just come into this room and make this team good suddenly. They need like 3 more drafts of foundational pieces to wash out this garbage that they keep bringing in off the streets and actually have players that are drafted by the organization. We need to give Pete Carroll like 3 years. Let him and the GM come together and take pieces that fit their scheme. It's just makeshift right now, and it's killing them. It kills them every time because they wash out the regime every 2 years or every 1.5 years. They need to start trading away pieces on some level, or not even trading away pieces. You got 6 picks. Take 6 players that fit what you're trying to do and let them do it for like 4 years. Be bad. Hit rock bottom. The Giants have hit rock bottom, and now they're climbing their way back up. This is how you build a team. We don't need to fire everyone after every bad game. That's what all the Raiders want to do. They think excellence just comes from playing well or something, or like grit. It's like, no, you have to actually build the franchise. They have not built the franchise in 20 years because it's always changing hands. And it's always like just the exciting headline. You got to build the engine before the outside of it fits what looks like on the outside. You have to have way more. And also, talking about that loss. Well, I also talked about this too. Can special teams not lose the game for the Raiders? Once again, I've asked this question every week. Once again, no. A blocked punt. Special teams is losing the game for the Raiders every single week. And it has not stopped. I'm waiting for the 1 week for the Raiders not to lose because their special team loses them the game. And it hasn't happened like every week. Also, talking about the identity of these games, it's a complete mirror opposite of the Arizona game. Trey Tucker has that big catch on the sideline. If he cuts really hard and scores a touchdown, the Raiders are up 14-10 and the game goes completely differently. Sometimes, and obviously at the end there, he gets tackled and then Geno Smith throws an interception in the red zone. Sometimes the identity of games can change on one play. And so you're talking about the Raiders going up. It wouldn't have been a major blowout had he got that catch on the sideline and scored a touchdown. I really believe that. And then obviously the last thing I'm going to talk about with the Raiders, because I have a lot of thoughts, is, Geno Smith has been the worst quarterback in the NFL, period. And I don't put that, this annoys me too, man. I don't put that on the GM. On paper, what he made was the right decision. I never want to punish my coach GM combo based on what happens, because let's be honest, man, all of these decisions that you make on some level are a lottery. You hope that they work out, and on paper, he was the best option for them. He was a starting level quarterback. It's been horrible, obviously, but I don't want to just be like, oh, they should have known. Nobody in the NFL could have known he was going to play as the worst quarterback in the NFL. If you are, you're just lying to yourself. Now, like, the degree of how effective he is, obviously, you can argue about and be like, oh, I didn't think he was going to be that good. Sure, but like they had Gardner Minshew last year. Like let's all remember that. They had to do something to bring someone in because this was a quarterback voidless draft. The Raiders just got really unlucky in that sense that there was no one coming out. Cam Ward hasn't even been, he's been pretty okay. But after that, there was nobody. And so when you think about it like that, in my opinion, I think that changes things. The Raiders had no choice but to go get somebody, a starting level quarterback. He just so happens to have, he's playing the worst year of his career ever. And so I think Kenny Pickett's going to come in at some point. And with all that being said, I think the Raiders need to continue to hit rock bottom, and we need to allow the Raiders to build up. We need to stop saying fire Chip Kelly. What the hell is Chip Kelly supposed to do when Geno Smith is playing like this? He can't go on the field, man. Chip Kelly's not going to be running routes. He can't throw the football. I like the scheme that Chip Kelly has implemented. We saw what it can happen when it's running well. Ashton Genty goes nuclear. I mean, he schemed that guy up for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, essentially. I like what I'm seeing from them. I don't think their offense is boring. I think it's like a modern NFL offense. I think it looks good when they like run the ball right and they don't throw the interceptions. And so I think you just chill out, man. I know it sucks in the moment because you're such a prisoner of the moment when you have a loss like that. I mean, obviously, I think at the end of the year, the special teams coach does need to be let go, but let's not fire anyone mid-season. Let's hit rock bottom, dude. Let's draft a quarterback and make this organization more like, make it something. There's nothing there right now. This is a like bamboo and gum team right now. Let's be bad. Let's be bad and allow ourselves to be bad. And so we can build up this team instead of constantly just changing it out, man, because it's not working. And so I don't mind them hitting rock bottom. I need to see them. They need to feel the sting of it. No more 6-7 win games. Let's win 2 and 2, and then see what happens after 2 drafts of drafting well. If you have 2 more drafts, now you've built a foundation for a team. I think the Titans win this game.
I think they could win this game too. I have them on a reverse tease ticket, and I love the Titans here coming off their first win. I mean, everything you said about the Raiders is true. I'm not going to reiterate too much of it. I've been saying the same thing for years. I think Geno was a mistake when you consider you could have had Jackson Dart. I mean, this is the biggest problem with the Raiders. We talk about it. I've known you for 5 years, man. I've been telling you this for 5 years. The Raiders refuse to be bad. The Raiders want to be a 7-win team. They want to sell tickets. They want to keep Allegiant Stadium shiny. They want to bring people to Las Vegas and buy their hot dogs and their $30, Coors Light tumblers. That's what the Raiders want. The Raiders do not want to win. It's not commitment to excellence. Okay, so you bring in a Super Bowl winning head coach. Okay, and so you draft AJ. You needed to do that. Fine. But, I don't care if you have Walter Payton in the backfield if you don't have a quarterback. And maybe you thought doing the right thing was getting Geno Smith. Dude, I have very rarely seen somebody just bring another quarterback from another team to a young team with holes like the Raiders do and ever go to the playoffs and go deep. Just doesn't happen. Look at what the Giants are doing right now. I mean, think about the Giants right now if Malik Neighbors was not hurt with Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo. That youth movement, dude, no matter how bad they are, Giant fans are galvanized because they know the future is bright. And they bullied the Eagles. Absolutely bullied the Eagles. As a young team. Where is that on the Raiders? You see what I mean? I remember when the Chiefs were 2-14 in 2012. You need to win 2 games so you can get a franchise quarterback and build around him. And until you do that, it's going to be the same old Raiders. You guys just refuse to do. You refuse to do it. You refuse to do it. Until the Raiders have their own Patrick Mahomes, until the Raiders have their own Josh Allen, until the Raiders have their own Jalen Hurts, guys who are drafted by that team and grown and built around, the Raiders are never going to be good. They're going to be a 6 or 7 win team because they'll play bad teams and win just enough because Brock Bowers is there and AJ is there, and you'll never be good. You'll never make the playoffs. You're going to sell a bunch of tickets, and you're just going to be the Raiders. I love the Titans here, plus 4.5. That's a disgusting line. I think the Titans can win this game. Brock Bowers is out. The line sucks. The secondary sucks. The special team sucks. I mean, the one thing about the Raiders that's been actually good is the coaching, if you can believe that. And the linebacker core is decent. But last week was an absolute abomination. They don't play well in Allegiant Stadium. This is one of my favorite bets, man. It is. How are the Titans getting 4.5 from a team that just got blown out by 40 points? Give me a break, man. Titans plus 4.5 is the play with ease.
Let's go to the 49ers. They are visiting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs are minus 3.5. I'm going to go contrarian. I've been riding the Bucs really hard this year, and I've been right more than I've been wrong about them. I'm a big fan of their team, but I actually think that they're due for a disappointment, I guess you want to call it. But I don't even know if I would call it a disappointment because if it sounds like Mac Jones is going to play in this game, I think that bodes well for them, man. Mac Jones,
so too.
Dude, I said this.
Mac Jones deserves a starting job in the NFL after what I've seen this year.
Kyle Shanahan wanted to draft Mac Jones. Kyle Shanahan is a system-friendly quarterback. He'll tell you where to throw the ball. You just got to do it for him. The only thing Kyle Shanahan cannot do is throw the ball himself. And so he likes these system quarterbacks. Mac Jones is the definition of that. There's nothing wrong with being a system quarterback. Because if you fit it, then you're really good. And I think that's what's going to happen here. I don't even understand. I think this should be a pick 'em. I don't know where this 3.5 comes from. I think the 49ers have a very good chance of winning this game. I mean, I know everyone's health is up in the air for the 49ers, which makes it so chaotic, but the Buccaneers defense is not very good. I mean, I think we can all recognize that. I know Ibuka is really good. I know the Tampa Bay offense is just insane, but I think this is going to be a bit of a shootout. I kind of like teasing the over in this game. I love teasing the 49ers in this one because, like I said, I think they can win the game outright. The Bucs have just had these crazy, like, last-second touchdowns. At some point, it's not going to work out for them. They're going to get – there's going to get bitten in the butt at some point. I know Nick Bosa's out, obviously, because he tore his ACL, but I don't know, man. I just think this 49er team is playing well despite all their injuries, and if they can even just get Juwan Jennings or Ricky Pearsall back, they're just going to get better and better. They've almost learned to play without everybody because they've had to for the past 2 years. And so I think they're just used to it now. It's like the injuries aren't a factor because it's like these guys are never around anyways. And so they've just kind of learned to play without them. And so I love the 49ers to cover. If I'm getting a field goal, I really like that, man. I think the Bucs are due for a bad interception from Baker Mayfield or something to ruin their game just because they have just on every level, dude, it's just worked out for them. At some week it's not. All these coin toss games, the coin's not going to flip their way forever this entire season. I don't think so. And so I like the 49ers.
I've got a news flash for a lot of you out there that aren't aware, but Baker Mayfield is the front runner for the MVP right now. He is playing at a very high level no matter who is around him. It doesn't matter. No matter who he has or who he doesn't have. And he's home. The Niners played the game of their lives last week. Of their lives. I don't think they can do it again. I just don't. They are hurting everywhere, man. No Kittle. Pearsall is out. Jennings has been on the bad side of questionable to out all year long. Kendrick Bourne is a 30-year-old journeyman wide receiver who
he went nuclear.
Went crazy. I mean, maybe he'll do it again because there's just nobody else besides him and CMC. But I just can't trust them enough to put up a lot of points here. I mean, they're going to have to. I mean, Mac Jones has played well. He's also banged up, too. I mean, they're just so banged up. You know what I mean? Conversely, when I've needed it from Baker, I've gotten it. Every single time. Every single time. And I'm going to get it again here, too, because, Emeka Ibuka is going to be Rookie of the Year. He's unguardable, and he can get open. If Chris Godwin plays or doesn't play, I don't think it really matters. Cade Otton is decent. I mean, Baker is basically doing a lot of it by himself. You know what I mean? He's just doing it by himself. And I understand that Bucky's out, but, I mean, is that really that huge of a loss? Bucky's an undersized NFL running back that will never stay healthy for 17 games. You just could write that down. I think their other running backs are good enough to keep things moving. Rachaad White is a starting running back in this league and has been. I like the Bucs, man. Fire the cannons. 3.5 does seem kind of scary, but this is a Niner defense without Nick Bosa flying 3,000 miles across the country after playing the game of their lives. I just don't expect it to continue, man. There's just too many non-household names to expect this team to put up 28 points on the road, which is what they're going to have to do to beat the Buccaneers here, and I just don't see it happening. My favorite part of this game, it would be teasing the over. I would love to tease the over here because it's going to be a lot of scoring. I mean, in order to win, the Niners are going to have to score at least 25, 26, 27 points here. And I'm not so sure they can do it. Bucs defense is bad, but they're home. Buccaneers minus 3.5 is a play on my end.
All right, let's go to the Cincinnati Bengals. They're going to Green Bay. The Cincinnati Bengals are plus 14.5. I'm sorry, man. That's way too much for a Packers team that hasn't been playing well. Their momentum's dead. Whatever they had at the start of the year, I don't know if they peaked too early or something. That's just insane to me. I mean, I know the Bengals have been horrible. They just traded for Joe Flacco. He's going to instantly start. I don't think that matters because Joe Flacco, that's all he does. He just, whoever needs him to suit up as the starting quarterback and do whatever. I don't think they're going to win the game or anything stupid like that, but I'm not going to – most of the time, I'm taking 14.5 points. That's just too much for me. I think they get a little extra juice because Joe Flacco's starting for them or whatever. And I could see, Joe Burrow or Jamar Chase, having, a huge game or something, because he just needs a quarterback to throw him the ball, and obviously Joe Flacco can do that. I know he stinks, but I don't know, man. That's just too much of a line for a team that has been playing well. Way too much. Way too much. And I don't think this is a get right because I don't know what is right for the Packers. they haven't looked right for 3 weeks now. And, I think, are they just going to sort it all out? Maybe they can. I know the Bengals are bad, but I just think it's going to be a weird game. I think it's going to be random enough that the Bengals can keep it within 2 touchdowns, a random garbage touchdown at the end. They're down 21. They have 15 seconds left. They throw a stupid touchdown to Jamar Chase. That can't happen. Is that what you're telling me? I don't think so. So I'll take the Cincinnati Bengals with 2 touchdown insurance here.
The Bengals are horrific. They're the biggest clown show in the NFL. They're the least competent franchise in the NFL. And now you trade for a 40-year-old journeyman quarterback who's been absolutely horrendous all year long to replace your journeyman backup who's been horrendous all year long since taking over for Joe Burrow. They can't run the ball. They can't pass block. They can't defend the run. All they have is shiny pieces that you can throw to and make highlight plays. They're going to get steamrolled in this game. You are making a mistake by pulling Browning for Joe Flacco. The only decent player on defense is Trey Hendrickson. The Green Bay Packers have taken this bye week to get their act together, man. They are going to run right at Cincinnati. Josh Jacobs goes wild in this game. Tucker Kraft goes wild in this game. Their defense is so bad, and now they're on the road in Green Bay. I can't take them. I took them last week to cover 11.5, and they couldn't do it. Like, really? No. This is set up perfectly by the sports books, okay? Like, we're the piranha, and they threw a piece of steak with poison into the water, and they're just waiting to see everyone go after that poisoned piece of steak. I'm not touching it at all, man. I'm taking the Packers with confidence here because I think they win the game like 31-13. I think they're going to score 35 points. The Bengals are horrific. They've mailed it in. There's no reason to play. Jamar Chase is sick. I mean, you saw what the Lions did to them, and that was in their own building. Now they're going to, frosty Lambeau Field. Come on, man. Chase Brown has been a waste of a freaking draft pick. He can't do anything. He's out there to chip. I mean, they're bad. You know what I mean? They're bag over your head bad. It just goes to show you what happens when you lose a player like Joe Burrow. People trying to tell me he's not a top 3 quarterback. He's not MVP caliber. The guy is all those things and more because you're seeing what your team is without him. They're a steaming, heaping pile of New York sewer rat garbage, and they're going to get murdered in this game. This will be the biggest spread I lay all year. Packers minus 14.5 with confidence.
Yeah. All right, Sunday Night Football as we wrap things up here. It's the Detroit Lions going to Kansas City. The Chiefs are minus 2.5. I like the Lions in this game. I think the Chiefs are in trouble. They're not very good this year. Kind of milquetoast, in my opinion. They really kind of got bailed out by that interception against the Jags. If they didn't get that, it wouldn't even have been that close at the end there. I think the Lions are going to pull out all the stops. This is one of those games that I think the Lions just really want, man. They've been playing really well recently. I know their defense hasn't been great, but their offense obviously is just, it's really going, man. I need to, I know the Kansas City Chiefs blew out the Ravens, but that does feel like a throwaway to me because the Ravens have been that bad, and we've seen it in multiple weeks against other teams. I like the teasing the over in this game, so you get like 40. I could see that happening because I just don't think the Lions can stop anybody, but I think the Lions can score enough. I've just seen the Chiefs make enough blunders on offense or just not do enough offensively in most weeks for me to feel confident about this. I think the Lions win this game. I know it's in Arrowhead, but I just think the Lions overall have looked much better than the Chiefs this year. And the Chiefs, don't typically lose on primetime games. We just watched them do it on a big Thursday night football game. Or Monday night, sorry. And so, short week. Chiefs don't really look that great. They're kind of banged up. The Lions are pretty much fully healthy. I think this is like a 27-24 game. Either way, to be honest with you. I don't know who's going to win at the end, but I think the Lions, like I said, I think they're going to have just something up their sleeve, man. I think this is something a signature win that they really circled on their calendar this year. And so I like Detroit in this one.
Patrick Mahomes has never beaten Jared Goff. And I think that changes this week. This reminds me of a couple weeks ago where everybody was telling me the Ravens were going to go into Arrowhead and roll the Chiefs. And that basically was a make or break game for me. As a fan, I was saying if they lose that game and go to 1-3, we're looking at pretty much a rebuilding and a lost season here. And now we're in the same situation. I have not seen the Chiefs play poorly back-to-back primetime games ever under Patrick Mahomes, and I'm not about to bet against them here again. There's a lot of things that have never happened before here, and I think finally the streak gets broken. The Chiefs gave the game away last week. I'm not going to stop saying it. Y'all who are telling me that the Jaguars beat the Chiefs, no, the Chiefs beat the Chiefs. When you are penalized 13 times and give up a 99-yard pick six, there's not many times you're going to win that game. The Chiefs do not play poorly at home. They're going to be in the hunt if they get this game with Rashee Rice coming back a week later. 3-3 for them would be like 5-1 with all the dissension that they've had to deal with. And they still have Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid. That's all you need, man. And let's be honest, okay? Anyone who's been following the Lions knows that their secondary is trash. It is shredded. Terrion Arnold is out. Brian Branch might be out. So now half of your secondary is second and third rate players. Dude, Patrick Mahomes is going to go absolutely nuts here. Guys, this is going to be one of the games that just continually has to remind you guys, because for some reason you have to be reminded. I don't know why. I don't know what it's going to take for some of you to have to understand like what you're dealing with when we talk about the greatness of Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs would not have a win this year without this guy. He is the MVP every year. I'm going to glaze Patrick Mahomes until I'm buried because it's not like it's not warranted. In his building, he is a different player. If he has to run the ball himself, if he has to throw the ball and then run down to the other end of the field and catch the ball, that's what's going to happen. The Lions are coming off a humongous win where they just beat the Cincinnati Bengals to death, and the Chiefs played so poorly Monday night. I mean, I have not seen them play this poorly in years on primetime. You're going to give me points at home? What's my record for taking points with Patrick Mahomes at home, Spencer? I mean, I'm like undefeated, bro. I mean, what's it going to take for you guys to understand? And to top it all off, Goff is a different quarterback when you pressure him, man. I think that Spagnuolo is going to dial up the pressure. I think he's going to replace Jalen Watson with Noel Williams because the kid is just better. He's just better. I don't understand. I mean, Andy Reid has this thing where he makes the rookies earn their time. Guys, he's a better player. Put him on the field. The Chiefs cannot afford to give up another game here. And every time Chris Jones has been called out, he does something big the next game. This is a big game where watch Chris Jones. I think Chris Jones has a very big game. I think they run the ball enough. I think the Chiefs trade for a running back when they get Rice back. If they win this game and they realize that they're still in the hunt, don't be surprised to see the Chiefs get Alvin Kamara or Breece Hall. They're going to sell out to still be in this because you know what? Right now in the NFL, it's anyone's Super Bowl to win. Would it surprise anyone if the Chiefs won the Super Bowl right now? It really wouldn't. Because they got championship pedigree and they're in their building under the lights. I'm taking the Chiefs plus the points every single time until they burn me. And I'll probably even take them after that because Patrick Mahomes is a football god. Chiefs plus 2.5, and I feel very good about it.
All right, let's wrap this up with Monday Night Football. These games the two Monday night games are kind of similar to me in my thought process. It's the Buffalo Bills are minus 4.5 against the Falcons. I just don't think the Falcons are a very good team, man. And the Buffalo Bills, they need this. I think anytime the Falcons play a game where the other team needs it, this is when they play at their worst.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, man, I need the Falcons to prove themselves as a team that even when a team is desperate, that they can go in and play a good game. I feel like I've never seen that from them. And so I feel like while the game should be close because the Falcons are at home, the Buffalo Bills know that was a bad loss for them and that they need to play much better. And I think they will, man. I think they're going to come in really on fire. In those spots, like I said, I just don't think the Falcons play to the level that they need to match it. You know, I've never seen them match that energy.
Never.
And so I think this is a big Buffalo Bills win, man. And it's prime time. They just lost a primetime game, you know, the Buffalo Bills, Sunday Night Football. Dude, they get an extra day of rest. This has got Buffalo Bills written all over it. I really like them in this game.
I like them too, man. I'm done with the Falcons, man. You know what I mean? I had high hopes for what that offense could do, and they just haven't. Michael Penix hasn't done it for me. And Bijan Robinson has not really been what I thought he'd be either, man. Darnell Mooney's hurt. Drake London, it was better last year. I mean, it's not been good. It's not been good. I mean, Raheem Mostert, his seat should be warm at least. I mean, if Penix stinks it up here, I'm calling for Kirk Cousins. Seriously, like, they're just not good. And they're going to have to score points here to win because Buffalo is going to be pissing vinegar after last week. They're coming in hot. They're putting all their best plays on the field. They're getting this game. Bills know that we're not blowing another home game and giving up home field advantage to a team coming out of nowhere in the AFC to now steal it from us. We're still the team to beat. We can still score with anybody. And if our defense just plays within ourselves, we'll win this game. Patriots had a reason to win. 8.5 is disrespectful last week, and they have a good defense. Atlanta's defense is not good. This is a team that got shut out by the freaking Carolina Panthers. Stop the madness. 4.5 is not enough. I think they can win this game by a touchdown, no problem. Josh Allen turns into Thor here, and it's a resounding Buffalo win.
Kind of the same thing for me in this last game. In the way that I feel, it's the Washington Commanders are also minus 4.5. They're at home against the Bears. I don't think the Bears are a good football team, and they just got stupidly bailed out against the Raiders. I mean, Geno gave them 3 interceptions. They can only turn that into 9 points. Jaden Daniels is not going to turn the ball over 3 times in this game. Their offense is going to score a bunch of points. What have we seen from the Bears when the opposition can pour points on top of them? They should have lost that game against the Raiders in every conceivable way. I mean, the Raiders just gave it to them. They just wanted it. They gave it to them, and they took it. That is not how the Commanders run. They're actually a competent football team. I think they blow them out of the waters, and I don't think the Bears can keep up in this game. Caleb Williams has never looked great at any point this season, in my opinion. He's done enough at certain junctures. Let's look back to that Dallas Cowboys game where the Cowboys just lit them up, dude. I think the Commanders are going to do that too. Jane Daniels is back. They're good. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think they're going to play a team as bad as the Raiders again for the rest of the season. And you're going to see the real Bears team come out here. So I love Washington Commanders at home in this game.
I think they win the game, but I don't think they cover the 4.5. Something tells me the Bears are going to be in this game, man. I mean, Caleb has not been awful. He did look good versus Dallas. That's the one game he looked really good. They're a competent football team with, a new head coach. I think there's some stops they haven't pulled out yet. I think you're going to start to really see the emergence of Rome Odunze. The guy is great, and they just haven't unleashed him like they should. Same thing with Colston Loveland. They have players, man. They have good players. Terry McLaurin has been ruled out. JCM is a good player, man, but I don't know, man. Something about this line is weird to me. I think the Bears find a way to stay in this game. You know what it's going to be? I think it's just going to be a backdoor cover by the Bears. Touchdown that just doesn't matter is going to kill your ticket. I don't know why I feel that way, because there's nothing that has shown me that that's what the case should be. But Washington played really well last week in L.A. I took the Chargers. That was my best bet, and they carved up L.A. in a big way. I don't know if they do it again here, man. I could see a bit of a letdown here after such a huge performance on the road. Under the lights, what have the Commanders really done in a while? I mean, Jaden Daniels is still not 100%. He's good enough to play. But does he look as good as Jaden Daniels did last year? I would say no. He's not running as much. He's not electric as much. Something about this game has me thinking that the Bears are going to cover this number, so I'm going to take them on a whim. Again, I've been taking more shots this year, man, and I've been hitting on those shots more than I've been missing. So this is one that might save my week because everyone's going to be on the Washington Commanders. For the year, I am 40-32 against the spread. Spencer is 34-38 going into week 6. On behalf of World of Matches, my name is Dexter Reid, and that's Spencer the Wiz. Any parting shots, my friend?
Hope the Raiders lose.
I hope they lose too, man, because you're never going to be good till you get a franchise quarterback.
It's been 22 years, and they've drafted one quarterback in the first round. Doesn't that sound impossible?
When will they learn? One day you'll learn, man. I've been saying this for 5 years. We'll see. You guys enjoy the games. Week 6 upon us. Remember, if you have problems with gambling, we are doing this for fun. Don't handicap your life by giving away your livelihood. It is just not worth it. And if you're struggling, gamblersanonymous.org is a real thing. Look them up. Until next week, you guys enjoy the games, and we are OUT.
See you guys.